Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, this is actually afternoon for once. Yay! Because it's last day before I have to hop back on the phones tomorrow and hope to God somehow that I manage to keep my job by the end of this month. Neither here nor there. God, I hate that stupid progressive plan. But anyways, I actually thought I was going to be a little late because the guy came over to put together the rower. But no, they came an hour early. Yes. So I was able to exercise, get it done, and hop on here and still be an hour earlier than usual. Which means I'm going to have downtime for once. I mass cooked today, so hopefully, things should stay somewhat on schedule. I like to call it schedule reasons. Oh, anyways, folks. We are going to go now through the usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to see the link to this report right there in the description box alongside the other Stop the Shock pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign. Like the massive archive compiled together by Autistic Hoya, the templates, you know the drill, sign your name, click on your senator, especially right now, guys. So you guys are waiting 20 days for the Dept trial, as am I. But I'm also waiting 20 days for what's going to go on in the Massachusetts House. No, I'm sorry, it's Senate House. It's one of those two with the bill that's trying to stop the adversives at that school. So please, for the love of God, sign your name, click on your senator. It's very pertinent right now, all right? And we also have the ever-present and self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, you know the drill. When we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? Now, yes, I'm exhausted, but also full of energy at the same time. It's a weird dichotomy, folks. So if I stumble over any of my words like I did at the beginning of this here, my apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so this part is going to be interesting. Comparison of philosophy and actuality. Well, I already believe that their philosophy at get-go is flawed because I cannot and refuse to buy, in the name of goddamn logic, that behavioral modification is a legit treatment for autism and other neurodevelopmental disabilities. Because they're neurodevelopmental disabilities, which is implying that it has to do with the mind, not behavior. It's not willful. But you all know my opinion on that. And also know that I see many other alternatives, God programs that use and utilize to perfection this idea of logic in practical application. I know, God forbid, right? But anyways, sorry. Behavior Research Institute has prepared a number of publications to describe the program and to explain the framework for some discrepancies between the written objectives and the actual implementation. Oh, do they? Never mind. I'm sorry. I thought they were trying to explain it away in another pamphlet. Wouldn't fucking surprise me. I swear to God, if I heard that there was another pamphlet to explain why it looks different in observation than it does on paper, I wouldn't be surprised, like, at all. The following 4 articles are provided as basic literature describing the program with which the direct observations are compared. The treatment of autistic children and a proposal for their future. If that's my fucking future, shoot me now. Just put a fucking bullet in my head. If that's what they see for my future, fuck it. Done. Fuck it. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? If a place like that is going to frame my future, just take my ass now. Published in Autism Diagnosis Correct Research and Management. Edited by Revito, Halstead Press, 1976, prepared at BRI June 14, 1975. Assumptions of the BRI program and the selection of rewards and aversives, October 11, 1977. Again, they're not really human, so train them like you would an animal. Freaking stick and carrot. It's garbage. It's always been garbage. The Goody Spank, November the 3rd, 1978, for fuck's sake. And you know what's really messed up, folks? They still use the same arguments that schools used to use for corporal punishment back in the day. But they get away with it because they use the fucking medical model to shield themselves from the fucking atrocities that they commit every day. Basic Policies of Behavior Research Institute, November 1978. The program described in the June 1975 article is a day treatment program with available residential components. In addition to the actual program for autistic youngsters, part of that program was to provide training for parents whose children were not enrolled in the BRI school, to conduct workshops for other professionals, and to offer consultation services. Can I, for one, say thank fucking God that fell through? For the sake of fucking humanity, thank God that part didn't go through. The last thing I want is these fuckers conducting workshops in Missouri to other professionals and to me offering consultation services. We stopped that kind of bullshit thought out here years ago. And I'm pretty sure the current system as we have it standing would run those bastards out of town. But I think, by fuck, this never went on. Because had they controlled the narrative and exploited their freaking psycho circus show out on the road, God knows where we would be today. The ultimate goal was to devise a set of services that would enable autistic people to live dignified, non-institutional lives. How the fuck does anything they do in this school lead to independent lives? They don't. ABA doesn't. Bill Shatner, it doesn't. Okay? Sit your fat ass down, shut the hell up. You are not a fucking professional who's never worked in a field. Maybe you should be quiet and listen to one who has. Sorry, the autistic community, we've got a long beef with Bill Shatner. That in and of itself is its own topic. In this initial program, students were to have individual design program plans. The plans would lead to the development of a set of cards for each student which indicated the tasks he was to perform at school. The student was to be responsible for looking at his cards, securing and initiating the task, completing it, signaling that he had finished his work. He was to be rewarded and then move on to another task. Oh, God fucking forbid that, he get to take a break. Again, I'll say it, this whole concept, this medical model thing, this treatment thing, that people with disabilities are never allowed to take a God-for-fucking-bid a break. Some of these places don't even provide recess, folks, something that is provided at every other school so that students are able to let off steam right after breakfast, and right after lunch. Oh, but we can't treat disabled kids like normal kids now, fucking can we? Sorry. It was direct observation of the program did not demonstrate this self-initiative. Rather, students were given tasks to perform and to repeat over and over again. One child performed the same stacking ring 18 times in a 45-minute observation period. That same evening, he was instructed to complete the stacking ring task again and again in his residence. Another child put the same cardboard puzzle together 3 days in a row. And third child played with a light bright pegboard at school and again at his residence. Each of these children was in dire need of language development, self-care skill training, and gross motor development. Oh, but they don't want them to learn these things because if they help develop their language or self-care or gross motor development, then others can hear about the shit that they do in this fucking school. They're not trying to create independent kids. None of these tasks that they are making these kids do for hours on end has any value in the real world. How any of this is supposed to make me believe that this school is trying to prepare these kids for outside of that hellhole? Yeah, yeah. In the BRI literature prepared in 1975, contracts between a student and his treatment worker are described. The student and worker were to mutually define a task, to establish a criterion for success, and to select a reward for successful completion. I highly think the child is going to say, I want to stack that ring over and over and over and over ad nauseum again, okay? Yes, we are creatures of habit and routine, but goddamn, folks, even we got limits. Upon program observation, the contracts have become unilateral decisions by the staff. Who's surprised I told you? They call them contracts, folks, but in actuality, the person that is put under that contract has no say in it. Kitchen timers were set for a specific period. If a child did not exhibit a specific inappropriate behavior during the period, he was rewarded for its absence, for fuck's sake. Throughout all articles, the mini meal concept is described whereby children receive their meals in bites as rewards for performance. Still the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of. The 1977 article describes this procedure as one which the meal is placed in front of a child. When the child has performed, the worker tells him to take his reward. Once the student rewards himself in a dignified way without having to be spoon-fed by the teacher. Fuck me. Contrary to the description, virtually all observed students were spoon-fed by the treatment workers. Can you get more fucking degrading? First, you have to perform like a circus monkey, and then you're not even allowed to feed yourself. A singular exception was a young man who was observed in his residence in the evening. He sat with his dinner plate in front of him. He performed his background task until the treatment worker told him to take a bite of food, after which he would then take one bite of his dinner. The treatment worker was asked whether or not the child could take a bite of his food without instruction, if he had performed his task successfully. Regardless of whether or not the reward was justified, if the child took a bite of his dinner without instruction, it would be considered stealing food. An aversive for stealing food would then be administered. Listen how fucking sick that is. One additional discrepancy should be noted between the literature and the observed practice. The 1975 article describes planned transfer of control of a student's behavior. That is, after a length of time in which the student no longer demonstrates an inappropriate behavior, the behavior and its aversive consequence are withdrawn from the list of target behaviors. Staff reported that this was not the case. A behavior and consequence remained a part of a student's program. If he should ever exhibit the behavior, No matter what the duration, intensity, or frequency, he will receive the same aversive that was initially established. This is an important point because the severity of the aversive is chosen by ascending the hierarchy. There is no comparable system for earning a way down the hierarchy. Likewise, there is no way for a child to earn his way to full meals. Think fucking about that. So not only do you have to earn every single bite of food or they starve you, there is no way for you to be able to earn a way to eat a full fucking meal. These people are fucking monsters. As he improves his performance, the staff merely increase the effort he must make to earn small pieces of his meals. That is fucking sick. So sick. Considerations and opinions. Over the course of 3-day visitation, the January team found BRI to be a professionally conceived, well-documented, and rigidly implemented behavior modification program. Its effects on the students was singular most depressing experience the team members have had in numerous visitations to human service programs. Boom! Boom. We'll start reading that together tomorrow, but I want to just fucking read that. Thank God. Over the course of the 3-day visitation, the January team found BRI to be a professionally conceived, well-documented, originally implemented behavior modification program. Its effects on the students was the singular most depressing experience that the team members have ever had in numerous visitations to human service programs. Think about that. Think about that. So, what this team is saying is that this school is one of the most well oiled machines towards the torture and mistreatment and misuse of children they've ever seen. Yeah. 1979, folks. If they could see this shit in 1979, why the fuck in 2021 did the DC Circuit Court rule for this shit to continue? And on that note, folks, I'm going to close out for this evening. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this evening, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one.